Pain and suffering are always inevitable for a large intelligence and a deep heart. The really great men must, I think, have great sadness on earth. The mystery of human existence lies not in just staying alive, but in finding something to live for. To live without hope is to cease to live. The second half of a man's life is made up of nothing but the habits he has acquired during the first half. Man only likes to count his troubles. He doesn't calculate his happiness. The soul is a monster. It feeds on everything. The more I love humanity in general, the less I love a man in particular. If there is no God, everything is permitted. The degree of civilization in a society can be judged by entering its prisons. The greatest happiness is to know the source of unhappiness. The cleverest of all, in my opinion, is the man who calls himself a fool at least once a month. Every ant knows the formula of its anthill. To go wrong in one's own way is better than to go right in someone else's. If you want to overcome the whole world, overcome yourself. Love in action is a harsh and dreadful thing, compared to love in dreams. Sarcasm, the last refuge of modest and chaste-souled people when the privacy of their soul is coarsely and intrusively invaded. It's not the brains that matter most, but that which guides them, the character, the heart, generous qualities, progressive ideas. Man is a mystery. If you spend your entire life trying to puzzle it out, then do not say that you have wasted your time. I occupy myself with this mystery because I want to be a man. The greatest of all crimes is the murder of the soul. Man is a creature who can get used to anything. A man's true character is revealed by those things he does when no one is watching. To love someone means to see them as God intended them. The soul is dyed the color of its thoughts. The soul is a terrible reality. It can be bought but never sold. The higher a man stands, the more the word person becomes of worth to him. What is hell? I maintain that it is the suffering of being unable to love. Happiness does not lie in happiness, but in the achievement of it. Much unhappiness has come into the world because of bewilderment and things left unsaid. We are all guilty of the good we did not do. The darker the night, the brighter the stars. Above all, don't lie to yourself. The man who lies to himself and listens to his own lie comes to a point where he cannot distinguish the truth within him. Taking a new step and uttering a new word is what people fear most. The best definition of man is a being that goes on two legs and is ungrateful. The more stupid one is, the closer one is to reality. The more stupid one is, the clearer one is. Stupidity is brief and artless, while intelligence wriggles and hides itself. Intelligence is unprincipled, but stupidity is honest and straightforward. I love mankind, he said, but I find to my amazement that the more I love mankind as a whole, the less I love man in particular. Lying to ourselves is more deeply ingrained than lying to others. To love is to suffer, and there can be no love otherwise. To be too conscious is an illness. A man's real life is that accorded to him in the thoughts of other men. A person's face is like an open book that reveals his thoughts and emotions. The soul is healed by being with children. One can know a man from his laugh, and if you like a man's laugh before you know anything of him, you may confidently say that he is a good man. Realists do not fear the results of their studies. There is no subject so old that something new cannot be said about it. To love someone means to see him as God intended him. The formula 2 and 2 make 5 is not without its attractions. A novel is a work of poetry. In order to write it, one must have tranquility of spirit and of impression. If you were to destroy the belief in immortality in mankind, not only love but every living force on which the continuation of all life in the world depended would dry up at once. Beauty is mysterious as well as terrible. God and devil are fighting there, and the battlefield is the heart of man. Men do not accept their prophets and slay them, but they love their martyrs and worship those whom they have tortured to death. Man, so long as he remains free, has no more constant and agonizing anxiety than find as quickly as possible someone to worship. Power is given only to those who dare to lower themselves and pick it up. Only one thing matters, one thing: to be able to dare.